What do you want?
Say, Sally, what do you want? Sally, what do you want? 50 times, and then have her do it to you. John, what do you want? John, what do you want? John, what do you want? By the 50th time, you'll get to where one of my doctor friends said it was more important than all of his medical school.
What do you want? Treat yourself. Mark Victor Hansen. Treat yourself on Wednesday night. We have our very own Reverend Tammy Mars, who is presenting. And now I'm done.
I know what I want. I want to sing a little bit, so I invite you to stand with me, sing our congregational song, We Let It Be. Wash over us. We let it be. Yeah. We let the love wash over us. We let it be.
We let the love.
We let the love wash over us. We let it be.
We let the joy.
We let the joy wash over us. We let it be.
We let the joy. Come on now.
We let the joy wash over us. We let it be.
All right, Bobito.
Seaside. What a joy it is to be with you on this day and where the love is washing over us. Can you feel that? Woo! Oh, so can I. Boy, the music is sounding good this morning. Great job, guys. Well, I want to welcome you to Seaside, where wherever you may be, wherever you may be on your spiritual path, know that you are welcome here. Seaside is an inclusive, embracing, affirmative spiritual community that is excited that you have chosen to share this day with us, because who you are makes a difference as to how this morning unfolds. So love us, be with us, and just be receptive to the good that is going on here. It's an exciting time at Seaside. We're in the midst of this prosperity series. There is a gift for you from Mark Victor Hansen, who's here Friday night, his book on tithing. Take some time to read it if you want to experience greater abundance in your world. It might do some good. But what I want to do right now is welcome Reverend Tammy.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Tammy Mars. It's my joy to be with you this morning as we open our whole being. For this is a sacred time. This is a time where your soul said yes. A time for you to remember that which you already know, which is the truth, but to put it into action. And so I just invite you to sit back and open your entire being, your heart, your mind, your soul, and let Spirit bless you. Because all it's waiting for is an open vessel. So we are here as open vessels. So I'm glad that you're here sharing today with us. A couple great good news. One thing is that about a year ago exactly, we started our paver project, which at one point out in our garden, we had it filled with grass, which was absolutely beautiful. But what we found is that people weren't using it because it was really hard to walk on and all kinds of things. So we decided to put in pavers, and many of you had bought a paver and put an inscription of love and peace and memorial and gratitude and blessings and prayers. And every single one of them is done and in the ground. So thank you for that. Go check it out. In fact, we found out a couple of weeks ago that the North County Times did a people's poll, and Seaside was voted #1 for the very best wedding spot out in our garden. So that's awesome. Thank you to all of you. We appreciate that. I also wanted to make you aware, Seaside is a tithing community. 10% of all the money that comes forth in contribution goes back out into the community. And this has been a big week from the hurricane on the East Coast. And so we have made a commitment for our tithe this week to go to a fund that's been created by Centers for Spiritual Living at the home office to support that. So I wanted to let you know that your money and our tithe is going to give love to the East Coast for that. But to start this service, why don't we start with our purpose statement? Join in reading it with me together. Seaside Center for Spiritual Living is a loving, supportive, inclusive family community which inspires all to experience their spiritual unfoldment, healing, and growth through the principles of science of mind. Our spiritual family gratefully celebrates the abundance of life and honors each individual's unity with God. Our joy is to express Spirit through service, making a difference in the lives of all of those that touch. A great purpose. And so to start this service, I'd like to call our practitioner of the day forward to anchor us in silence and prayer, Kathleen Paulson.
Let us go into the silence that and in this moment, this beautiful moment, on this gorgeous November morning, I know that God is, I am, and God is all. Peace, love, joy. And so I contemplate the message of Dr. Reverend Christian, the readings of Reverend Tammy, the music, the joy, the celebration of this hour. And for this, I'm in deep gratitude. and so it is. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one else above you? You fill my heart with gladness. You take away all my sadness. You ease my troubles, that's what you do. There's a love that's divine, and it's yours and it's mine, like the sun, like the sun. And at the end of the day, we should give thanks and pray to the one, to the one. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one else above you? You fill my heart with gladness. You take away all my sadness. You ease my troubles. That's what you do.
Beautiful, Reverend Fran. Thank you. We're so blessed to have you. Thank you. It's a nice tone set. I just want to take a moment before we begin here to welcome anybody that might be here for the first time today. We just want to say thank you for sharing your love, your light, your consciousness. For as all of us come together and we become those vessels, those vehicles, the vibration, if you will, of the Most High, as the Bible says, is just raised. And as it is raised, it pulls all of us up. So every individual and all the loving thoughts and all the beauty and unique expressions of God that you are, not only is beneficial to you, but to all of us. And so we're grateful that you're here. Please come see us again. We have a welcome packet in the back at the welcome table that we'd love for you to pick up, and in that is all kinds of free goodies. And great thing is if you take to the bookstores a certificate to get a free book of Reverend Christians. So we invite you to do that and get coffee and all kinds of fun things. So take advantage of that, and thank you again for being here. You know, we're right in the middle of our pledge program. Once a year, usually around October, November, and fall, we have our prosperity program. It's our time to remember the truth about our abundance and our prosperity. We have an incredible board of directors this year. They are powerful. They are visionaries. They are creators. We have a development team that's come together that steps forth and stands forth our prosperity. We are so blessed to have them. And at this time, during this time, I'd like to invite forth our treasurer of our board. He wants to share with you some facts about Seaside and some things that are going on. Please give a warm welcome to our treasurer, Bill Siemens.
Good morning, everybody. You know, I just have to go back to Reverend Fran. You know, as she sings, I'm sitting back there, and as you feel the love that she shares, but that touches all of us, and as we sit there and feel that love, that's God. That's God. That's God. And as Michael Beckwith told us last weekend when we visited Agape, he said everything else is the illusion. So that's why your treasure's up here. So this is the time of the year where we do our promises, our pledges. This is where we promise to our community what it is we can do to support our community. And this community, hi Judy, this community is really all about love and support. And of course, a promise is a two-way thing. And so I thought we would share some information with you that you have, that was handed to you with your materials in the bulletin. If you want to pull out that yellow page, you could take a look at that yellow page with me. What that shows you is a couple of things. It shows you a stair step, and those stair steps indicate the level of giving and how many people gave at that level last year. It also indicates the goals that we're going for this year. And so, let me just share a couple of things if you were to add that up. First off, 12% of us, that sample number is 672, 12% of us, 83 people, gave $35 or more per Sunday, which is the expense it costs us to have these seats here on Sunday. 83 people, 12%, which that means 88% of us gave less than that. There's one other statistic. 56% of us, or 396 people out of that sample, give less than $5 on Sunday. Now, I know we've been through, all of us, our community, the community out there, we've all been through this tough recession time. But I can tell you that there's energy here at Seaside that has broken past that, and we're looking to go way beyond that. We've got huge dreams and big plans, all kinds of energy, and people are stepping up, and people are coming forward. And there is momentum here, and we want you to join us with that, and we need your support to do that. We can't do it without you. We need to do it together. And so in this season of promise and promising, I'd like you to really give this some thought, because we have to do it together. Your community and the stability of your community counts on you for this. And I would say that, as I was sharing between services, you know, my 5-second testimonial is that I used to be around Seaside a long time ago, and then I went away, and then I came back. And when I went away, I looked for places and communities to connect with. And I never found anyone that had the heart of this place. In fact, every chance I got, I'd come back and visit, until they told me to go away again. But anyway, so I came back. I'm back forever, but I'm back because of the shared heart that this wonderful center is and expands and continues to be, not only for us, but how about the people beyond that parking lot? How about the differences we're making in our community? How about the blankets we did last year for people? And we're going to double that this year. So it's really about not playing small. It's really about it's about stretching beyond. It's about trusting the principles. It's about getting on board, letting go, and letting God, which is what we say every Sunday. So I invite you to challenge yourself. I invite you to come play at a higher level, because it'll come back to you 100-fold. Thank you very much.
And that is Bill Siemens. Thank you. We are so blessed to have you. Thank you. All right. And so it's with that, let us move into that inner space as we close our eyes to this outside world and all that physical stuff, that stuff that's already created, and we move within to that place, that one cause. That very beginning where all the seeds are planted with our recognition, our awareness of it. We close our eyes to this outside world because that stuff is done. And we move within to that inside creative place, there is God. For within every ounce of our being, within the billions of cells that is within us, within the thoughts that we think, the energy that we are, and beyond, is the vibration of the Most High, is the vibration of a power and a presence that has no limitation. For we are made up of God's stuff, which is infinite good, infinite supply, infinite joy, infinite peace, infinite love, infinite well-being, infinite creation, and newness. That is who and what I am. That is who and what each of us are. I stand as that right here and right now. I stand as a vessel that is willing to be unobstructed, to allow the flow of God to move through and as my very being, filling my life with its infinite blessings and overflowing out into my family, my friends, my community, and my world. For spirit cannot and will not be denied. And so it's in this truth that I anchor myself right here, right now, in holy space and holy consciousness and holy ground, for I know the power and the presence of love embraces, caresses, guides, and leads my every step, my every thought, that all is well and all is God. And so it's from that open, allowing space that I give great thanks. I look with awe and I see the activity of God everywhere present. And I give great thanks for the good, for the God that I am. Release this word into that infinite yes, knowing that it is done with so much more than I even can imagine. And I let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Reverend T, beautiful words, gorgeous words. Listen, I was walking in the grocery store the other day, I just have to tell you this little story. And this guy is saying, "Hey, man, you're looking good." And I went, "Whoa." I said, "Whoa, wait a minute, that's mine." No. But I want you to know, we're so interconnected. I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I said, "See how it spins off? You never know where you're going to have that." I want you all to know that you're looking good today and that we're having a wonderful looking good artist, Mr. Ray Davis. Would you put your hands together, buy his CDs, help him out? He's here. Come on, Ray. Let's do something. Let's do something.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, Seaside. I feel good. I feel good. This is a beautiful day, and it's wonderful to be in here in this wonderful, warm, loving community. I brag about y'all everywhere I go. I really do. I really do. I love this place. So in the name of playing a little bit bigger, living a little bit higher, catching a higher, brighter vision for ourselves, we're going to do this song called The Average Man, about a cat who figured it out, had a suspicion there was a lot more available to him. So I hope you dig it. He always thought he was an average man, average face and average hands, average feet set square on the middle tier. Satisfied with his mild success, much as any average man could expect, until the day he was beset by his greatest fear. It all started with a feeling so intense that time and space stood still. Hey, what if I was born for greatness? What if I am really more than I think I am? was never in the stars for me. And miracles and wonders was the plan for the average man. Yeah. For the average man. Yeah. See, all his life he said he'd find the nerve to stretch and reach beyond the bell curve, but never did for Pharaoh's own bag an empty hand. He said, what's an average man to do with so little time that all these things I think through? Maybe I should just stick to what I understand, yeah. But he couldn't shake that feeling, no. A feeling so immense it filled the whole blue sky. He said, what if I was born for greatness? What if I am really more than I think I am? What if mediocrity was never in the stars for me? And miracles and wonders was the plan for the average man, yeah. No, he couldn't shake that feeling, y'all. A feeling so intense it about to blow his mind. He said, what if I was born for greatness? What if I am really more than I think I am? What if mediocrity was never in the stars for me? And miracles and wonders was the plan for the average man. Oh, 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 for the average man. I got to say na 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 na. Sing it with me if you wanna na 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 na. Oh yeah, na 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 na. Na 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 na. Sing it with me, y'all. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na na na, oh na 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 na. Can you feel it in your heart now? Na 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 na. You were made for more, yeah yeah. Na 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 na. Celebrate the more in your soul, yeah. Come on, come on, come on. Na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Throw your neck back and forth, and while you shake, no, 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 no. Get your neck up, rocking back and forth, while you're singing, no, 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 3, how?
That is Mr. Ray Davis, born for greatness, no doubt about that. More than the average man. Ray Davis, way to rock the house. Woo! Thank you. My goodness. Na, 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 na. So is that as good this week as last week? Fran, I'm working on it. She'll let me try out one of these days. Hey, let's see. We are in the midst of a prosperity program and series for the purpose for you to experience a life that is filled with ease, grace, freedom, health, well-being, peaking expressions, abundance, and all those good things you can conjure up. This is how you can use these principles that we have been sharing. And so the first one that we talked about was self-worth. I mean, without self-worth, you're not going to accept your good, and so it's all over before you even get going. So I trust you got your self-worth in place from a few weeks ago. Then from there, we got into the giving part. And people say, why give before you receive? I got to get, then I give. No. You got to prime the pump first, if you remember that one. So you give, and then last week we were talking about receiving that good that is flowing. And what are we going to receive? Well, today it is about grace. Yay, is right. And grace is one of those topics I love. There's something about grace. Whenever I say the word, it just warms the cockles of my being. And I don't even know what that is, but they get warm. Grace is another word for gift. The gifts of God are sufficient. If you truly believe the gifts of God are sufficient in your life, you can give up the worry, the struggle, the anxiety, and all those parasitical things that just aren't fun. Because I'll tell you what's true about grace is that grace, you get the full amount. You don't get partial grace. You don't get you get part of grace, you get this vision, now you don't get it, No. If you receive that place of grace, which is ever available for everyone, if you're in that place of grace, and what happens is not the partial healing, not the partial good, but you get the full experience. You don't get a job in Europe and don't have the ways and means to get there. You get the transportation to get there. With grace comes the vision of the greater possibilities that exist for you. With grace comes that sense of well-being and all the ways and the means to get there. There's no such thing as a partial bit of grace. When you're in grace, you have no concerns for tomorrow. It's just, there are no concerns because it's not partial. You are living in that sense of trust, faith, well-being. And it's just the way it is. When you were born, I'm going to give you a little inside scoop. When you were created, let's go before born. So that was way before time. You were created perfect, whole, complete. All that you would ever need was already there. That's the truth of who you are. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to deserve it. You don't have to make it so. All that you have to do to experience the grace of God is to be available for that presence. And when your life is not reflecting that expression of grace and the ease and the well-being and the gifts of God, which are absolutely sufficient, which means you don't need anything else, it is sufficient. When you are in that place, then all of a sudden your life is working. And the spots that it's not working, those are the spots where you've forgotten. You forgot the truth of your being is wholeness. You forgot the truth is that you've been created the image and likeness. You forgot that truth. And when something is out of balance, if we were in a classroom, I would say, okay, now take a moment, write it down. Where have you forgotten it in your life? And you take a look at where there's struggle, where there is constraint, where there is difficulty, where there's out of balance. You take a look at those spots where and it just doesn't go there. That's where you have forgotten. And then what happens is people move into prayer, which is a beautiful thing. But so often people are praying the old Orthodox style of prayer, which is God out there. Please, I promise I'll be good. Give me the grace. Or what it is I need. I promise you can beg, you can wheel and deal, you can grovel, you can crawl, you can do what you want. And so, God will give it to you. And so what we have since done in metaphysics is we have created the hybrid of that prayer. In the metaphysical prayer, we moved it up a little bit farther and say, I have the power to create it in my life. This is good news. It's still out there, but I get to create it in my life. Okay, now I'm going to bring it to me. It's not dependent on God. It's now I'm creating my good. That's the metaphysical prayer, which could be a step above the other. But when you're in grace, you're in spirit, and you're complete. There is no partial. It is already there. The mystical experience of prayer of wholeness is one of harmony. I already am that. And what I'm doing is I'm I'm in that divine vibration. I am that divine vibration of God, and everything that I need is already present. And what I'm doing is bringing forth that which I am already, the completeness, the wholeness, the expression of that Spirit in my life. That is what's coming out in my world when I choose to live from a place of grace. Everything that I could ever need, even before I know I need it, is already provided. And when I am in that divine field, that is what I'm living. That is what is manifesting. And so the good news here is that you are meant to live your dreams. The good news is you are meant to make a living doing that which you love to do. How many are doing that? Oh, don't have to hold up your hands. That's okay. We don't want to show off those that didn't. So, but the good news is you are meant to make a living doing what it is you love to do. And when you listen to your heart's desire, it will lead you to all that is necessary to make that so. When you listen to your heart, that is beyond the intellect, okay? Your soul doesn't need authority based in facts and statistics. It listens to a divine vibration, a divine frequency. You know it in the marrow of your bones. You know it in the depths of your soul. You know it because the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You don't need the facts to tell you you're on the right track or this is what is in your heart and your soul. There is something in you that knows beyond the logical explanation, and you choose to believe that. And when you are willing to go for it, and when you are willing to go too far, because that sure beats not going far enough and living the rest of your life and saying, oh, only if I would have listened to my heart and gone a little farther. That's not grace, that's pain. I'm a Christian. It's common sense. Well, as long as you listen to common sense, what you're going to get are common experiences in your life. Whoa, that's good. Yeah. Too bad the first service didn't get that one. You can tell them. Yeah, that's right. That's get going, man. Get the Spirit rumbling. Get the grace of God more expressive in this moment. But I've got to tell you, when you are listening to that and you're going for that, you're going to come across bumps in the road. I mean, I'd love to tell you this vision that is calling you, that desire that is in your heart, that fulfills and gives you everything that is necessary for your health, for your wellness, for your well-being, for the dynamic, juicy relationships and everything else. There's going to be bumps in the road. Because that's what happens in this world. Those bumps aren't bad. It's called doing life. It's called being bigger than what is in this world. You are bigger than what is in this world. You've got to keep that vision, even if you can't see it. I will assure you, all your heroes, you will join in noble consciousness. Those heroes of yours that have created business empires, or authored a book, or started a nonprofit, or redesigned a room, they all believed in something they could not see. That is right. But there's something in the marrow of their bones that tingled the cockles of their being or whatever, that they absolutely knew. They didn't need the authority of the facts in their world. They knew that they were bigger than whatever was put before them. The difference between masterful manifestors and strugglers is that when there is a problem or an issue to move beyond, through, around, or what have you, they're bigger than that. And the strugglers, they're not. They just can't deal with the hassle, the drama, the situation, the dynamics, the problems. And I got to tell you, what lies before them is the biggest problem, and that is one of struggle and poverty. You've got to trust the vision, the grace, the tingle, the belief. That's something that you have been given. You're bigger than whatever life puts before you. Reverend Rick standing in the back, he said when some big problem comes my way, he just stamps down his fist and said, no, you're not. No more. I'm bigger than you. And it's time for you to tell your big problems how big your God is what Johnny Coleman tells us. And it's time for you to know that you have everything that is necessary right in the depths of your soul, and as you honor that stirring of your heart, everything that is necessary is there. Grace comes fully. It doesn't come partial. So everything you need, the grace of God to move you to that next level, is there. It is in store. It is ready. And so if you can believe and have faith and trust that God's gift is sufficient in my life, I mean, who would deny that? But God's grace is the way they say it biblically. But God's grace, that means the anxiety, the worry, and the concern of the issues that have been placed before us is basically a waste of time. Remember, grace has no concern for tomorrow. It's all there. And for you to stay on track is to listen to the desires of your heart. I know it's not the Buddhist approach, but I got to tell you, it's okay. You got to have a vision. You've got to, you're not desiring not to have desires. You're honoring that God-given speaking, that vibration, that frequency of your soul that you're listening to, that you're saying yes to. But you've got to come into right relationship with that. And the sacred circles this week are fabulous. It has an exercise in there that has you reestablishing your right relationship with Spirit, coming in harmony with what Spirit is in your life. And so if there's an area where you have forgotten or where there is a challenge in your life, you get to take a look and say, where am I not in right relationship? Where am I not in that flow of the divine grace of God as my life? And what could step into this place? Can I create, the sacred circles have you creating space beyond observing this problem is too big. Because if your problem is too big, you are using the creative energy to create a problem that is too big. Your container is too small. If your container is too small and all of a sudden you hit it good and there's an abundant flow, where is that abundance going? There's no place. It's just going to go away. So I've had people say, well, I've had it in my life, but it's gone. Well, your consciousness or container hasn't been big enough to sustain and carry the abundant good that has flown into your life. Go back to lesson 1, self-worth. Expand that container. Get back into the flow. Then become receptive to the grace of God. It works every time, I'm telling you. So if we were in class, once again, what I would have you do is pair up, A, B, talk, face each other. Ask yourself, what is that divine vision? What is that within your heart? And ask yourself, am I living that? Where am I in my current life? Am I thinking from that place? In my current life, am I acting that kind of way? And from my current spot in life, am I doing the things that support that? And am I congruent in this expression of Spirit as my life and my world? I have people say, but Christian, how do I know what is that vision for me? How do you know? George Lucas, news this week. He put together a pretty good transaction. He doubled what the Dodgers got at $2 billion. He got over $4 billion for the sale of his Star Wars franchise to Disney. So that's pretty good consciousness, good container. And it's amazing how many billion-dollar deals are going on out there. $1 billion just isn't what it used to be. But anyway, from Star Wars, we got Luke, and he says to his little mystical being, how do I know what is the right decision here? There are so many decisions among the decisions I have. How do I know what decision is with the Force? And Yoda, in his supreme wisdom, says, you will know the right decision because of the peace and the calm. You'll know that you're on the right track because you will not feel frantic, you will not feel anxiety, and you will not feel struggle. You will make the right decision when you are at peace and when you are calm, and this is what will radiate out from you. What a great way to know. So when I'm in the midst of facing an issue or a dynamic in my life, whether I am facing what the doctor told me, what my body's doing, what the bank account or the accountant says, whether you're sitting in New York, can you, in the midst of that moment, know a peace and calm? This week in the foundation class, which is the foundation, is the basic principles. We're taking a look at the infinite inclusivity. It is all God. It is all Spirit. It is all included. And so we're taking a look at New York and saying, where's God here? Can I, in the midst of a hurricane that brings forth whatever spiritual message it has to bring, can I see the presence of God here? Can I know that? I got to tell you, I've been communicating with some of our brothers and sister ministers on the East Coast and heard from Reverend Debbie Timmons and Reverend Michelle, who's in New York, and Reverend Karen Kushner, who's in New Jersey. And she wrote this morning, I'm on my way to the center. I've got firewood, Dunkin' Donuts and coffee and prayers from all of you guys. So I want you to know your prayers and your love are being felt and are making a difference, and they're transcending this time and space. It's been amazing listening to the stories that they were sharing about no power and hearing all these messages right away, and then their cell phones begin to die and they can't communicate any longer because they can't charge the cell phones. Or what it's like to be in the flooded area and all of a sudden see the power trucks convoying through to return the power and the pumps going and the gas station lines and all of a sudden being given free gas. It is just amazing. And what Barbara Marx Hubbard says is crisis is evolutionary drivers that precede transformation. Say that again. That crisis, they're evolutionary drivers that precede transformation. Because I'll tell you what is happening this time in New York. Same thing that happened last time. I mean, they are bigger than the problem. Their God or their consciousness or their vision is bigger than the issues. And those issues are big. But what is happening is people are opening their doors. They're leaving. They're reaching their hands out, giving support, giving love, allowing the grace of God to move through individuals. There is caring. There is compassion. There is good that is going on. Can you create space for God is the question. In the midst of your challenge, are you in right relationship where you can begin to move things away that don't belong and begin to say there is space for God to show me in the midst of whatever it is I'm facing or I'm looking at. I know that God is greater, my God is bigger, and I am the place that it gets to be known for all around me to see a new experience. Ernest Holmes, he said that in his book, The Creative Mind and Success, that declare right now that you are one with the infinite mind. Because you cannot get away from it no matter where you are. Right there it is ready to be used, that infinite, unlimited expression of the universe. Right where you are. It's ready to be used. That unlimited, infinite expression of the universe. You can't get away from it. That's the oneness in mind. So how can you begin to feel it and sense it and know it? You know, it's there for you. It's available to you, but you have got to believe in those lucid glimpses of the greater possibility that is luring you into bringing forth a greater expression of who you are, of your soul, of your spirit, of your gifts, which truly is the grace of God. It's the gift of God. Yoda said how you could feel it one way. Someone asked Joan of Arc, hey, does God speak to you in French? She said, I don't know what he speaks to me in, but I hear him in French. And what that says to me is that we are able to hear Spirit as we begin to develop the ability to create space to hear, to feel that grace, that touch, that inkling, that vision, that glimpse, the stirring in the marrow of our bones. Do you create space to show up? It's not lazy to sit back and say, okay, God, show me. We call it meditation. People say, oh, what a waste of time. It's not a waste of time to come to know what that feels like. But what happens is people block off their ability to feel and sense through their natural receiving system. They get too busy in life. You know, anybody gets just too busy, they don't have time to meditate. They don't have time to be with Spirit. They're too busy in life, or they got too many stories. There isn't space for the grace of God to show up. You know, the number one drug in the world are benzos. Benzodiazepine. That's close. BZDs. They are the enhancers of your neurotransmitters. They are the Ambien, Luneta, I don't even know these things. Valium. You know that one. You don't have to fess up. Xanax. You know what they are? Basically three things. They deal with anxiety, they deal with sedation, and they deal with muscle relaxants. They're the number one drug on the planet. And in 2009, I read this report from Dr. Mark Gershon, and I read it because it was in the Light Connection. Mark Victor Hansen's on the cover of the Light Connection, so I was reading extra stuff. And what he said, Dr. Mark, 2009, they sold 60 billion tablets and capsules of benzos around the planet. That sounds like a lot. We're getting back to those billions. But what is even more staggering, in 2011, The money for benzos was $880 billion. I don't even comprehend that number yet. It's staggering to think that we are spending $880 billion to numb, to quiet ourselves. They're intended to last 2 to 4 weeks. I'm sure the pharmaceuticals intend for you to keep using them after 2 weeks. You could fund wars with that $880 billion. Hopefully the war on drugs. But what is happening is the people are numbing themselves and no longer being receptive to that impress from Spirit. And if Ernest Holmes says that declare now that you are one with that infinite mind and it's yours to use. How can you do that if you don't spend the time creating space and knowing that you're too busy turning it off? Your body knows how to take care of itself. Your spirit, your soul that uses this body knows how to release whatever chemical is necessary to heal your body. And yes, Spirit works through the hands of doctors and bless them and the chemical intelligence in the body. Yes, we don't deny that. But I want us to not give away the power so easily to that which is outside of ourselves. Because if Spirit truly is everywhere and the grace of God is ever present and it's not partial and it's fully present, then what the mystics say, the mystical life is beholding that presence everywhere. Beholding the presence of God. So it can work through your body, can work through your cooperation if it is with the medical field. That you can behold the presence of God in its vision, that you can hold the presence of God in nature, and you can hold the presence of God in the midst of a whirlwind, a hurricane, a tornado, a tsunami, and whatever else is going on in your world and say it is not too big for God to handle. The grace of God is greater than anything that this world can conjure up. And that's what I am living with. That is what I'm beholding. I'm moving beyond the rationale of the mind, of the thinking, of the words. And I'm not saying I'm eliminating thinking and words, but I am living not by the words and the facts of this world. I am living by the grace of God, for God's gifts are sufficient in my life. The visions that I'm given are to be stepped into, to say yes to. And when you have that vision, you've got people who may say you're crazy. But I'm crazy in love for possibilities that exist. You may say you're insane. But thinking with fear and anxiety and worry, that's insane. Those who are going to make a difference are different. And you are one of those that is making a difference in this world. It's okay for you to be different, expressive of what's stirring in your heart and soul, with a deep knowingness that everything that is necessary to bring forth where your heart is leading you is there. You just have to have the guts to step out and be willing to go too far. Are you willing to? Are you willing to say yes to that? Yes. Then God bless us as we do it. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Ray Davis back to this stage.
A song for the morning, rise and breathe in the feeling, feeling of nothing but blue skies, fresh and clear. Nothing to fear in this bright field, in this bright field of love and possibilities. Here is tailored time for sitting silent, still, breathing in the moment, this moment, before the clank cacophony of where to be descends on me. I sit, I breathe, I remember. Here's a song for the morning, rise and breathe in the feeling of nothing but blue skies, fresh and clear. Nothing to fear in this bright field, in this bright field of love and possibilities. Here is where I'll be what simply can't be done. Simply being wholly in the moment, this moment. And though my mind may interrupt with thoughts both pious and corrupt, and though at times I may hold sway, still I sit, I listen, and remember. Here's a song for the morning rise. I rise up and I greet the day. Only good is coming my way. It's all love and possibilities. No need to beg and plead from down on my knees. I've got peace over here, I've got joy over there, I've got talent in my toes and abundance in my hair. All of life is here for me, and I have decided to believe it and receive it and remember. Skies fresh and clear, nothing to fear in this bright field, in this bright field of love and possibilities. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Wow. Mr. Ray Davis. Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you, Ray. Hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to unite together in our givingness. We get to share our financial support to the activity that's going on here at Seaside. And know that your gift makes a difference, that for us to continue to operate within this time and space, this community, in this beautiful home, it takes all of us. As Bill was saying, it's about $35 a seat on a weekly basis for things to operate on a smooth, even keel. So you take that into account, and what we're really asking is for people to take the next step, to step up. And just to get into partnership with Spirit. And as you give, it comes back. It's not why you give. It's an extension of your consciousness. It's the activity of Spirit in your life. And so listen to your heart and say yes, and know that that desire to be more supportive of God's activity will will not leave you short. So I want to invite our ushers to come forward at this time and say thank you to this wonderful crew, and thank you to those who mail in your contributions, and thank you to those who remember us with the auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world into Seaside. Thank you to those on the live streaming. And I offer this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this is a blessed moment where the fullness of the divine absolutely has its way. For the full expression of God moves through each and every one of us. Each of us becomes that point in which that infinite touches down. As Ernest said, we are one in that infinite mind, and it is there for us to use those unlimited resources. And it's in this moment I choose to be an abundant expression of God. I live within that wonderful flow, allowing that which has graced my life to continue to ripple out and grace all those around me, and knowing that wave of love continues out in the world. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for blessing this spot in which I stand, and know that that blessing continues to move forth. And so I let it go in this appreciative heart, and so it is. Amen. And together let us read our abundant affirmation, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Again, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Music today. Composer, songwriter, performer extraordinaire, that is Ray Davis. Bob there on the saxophone, Jerry on the drums, Tom on the bass, and Tracy on the Burzendorfer. Great job. Reverend Fran, great job with your artistic direction here at Seaside. Reverend Tammy, always a joy to share a Sunday morning with you. Hey, giving us the sound in the back is Ed. Giving us the visuals is Marv. And know that CDs are available right after the service. And Tim, bless you for your constant, continual casting of what's going on here at Seaside. Flowers, they're gorgeous. Dr. Christina Tillotson, bless you in memory of John Shills. Thank you. Oh, let's see. Big news Friday night. Mark Victor Hansen is going to be here. He is just renowned throughout the corporate world for inspiring people and businesses on how to create wealth in their life and in their business. And he is going to be here, and it's going to be a two-part evening. The first part is he's going to share with you how to create the wealth of your dreams. It will be fabulous. And we'll take a break, and afterwards he will then present whatever Mark does in his own way. But the first part, he has assured me he is going to give us the principles on how to create wealth. So we kept it at a low price, high profile, front of the light connection. It's in all sorts of papers. It's going to be a great night. Where are you going to be Friday? Good. Okay. I want for you so much to be prosperous. Reverend Mark has also given us all this wonderful book on tithing. Read it this week, because next Sunday is our annual Pledge Sunday. It is the one time of the year I stand up and say, hey guys, it is time for us to come together in letting us know what our financial intention is for 2013. And this year it's an important year. And so I invite you to be part of this miracle, because next Sunday we are going to create here pledges and intentions for Seaside at $600,000, and I want you to be part of that Miracle Sunday. And we've got to do that, and I'll tell you why, because we are shifting from a typical mortgage to the bond to finance our place, and that bond company wants to see growth over 2012. Like, what a concept. They want to make sure we're going in the right direction. So it's going to take all of us participating together. So next week, plan to be here, and it's going to be fun. The choir singing, we're going to hoop it up and make lots of sound, and it's going to be a great Sunday. So, but I'll tell you what we're going to do right now, showing the signs of our growth, is we're bringing in new members into the church today. So any of the individuals that are here today that are joining Seaside, we're taking you out to lunch. Everybody's welcome to join us for lunch. But what I want are those that have signed the declaration, say, count me in, to come up onto the stage, and want to officially welcome you into Seaside. I want to invite Trudy, your board president, to join me. All right, look at you guys. Congratulations. You got the microphone. Good. Oh, yeah, it's about time. This is fabulous. Hey, Libby. All right, Paulette. This is great.
Welcome.
Woo! What a great looking group here.
Welcome.
Very excited that you have said yes. Seaside is uplifted this day. I'll tell you what, Fran, you want to pass the microphone down and let the individuals just share your name.
You want to share your name?
Oh, Paulette Glenn.
Pass it down.
Peggy Moore.
John Girdler.
Livy Stanforth.
Louise Keys.
Glenn Johnson.
Deb Johnson.
Robert Schreiber.
Renee Thornborough. I want to say yes, yes, yes.
All right.
Terry McCleary.
Roy Ayala.
Carol Mylove.
Monique Q.
Sharon Bagley.
Bill Mills.
Nancy Mills. I'm excited about being a working, living, contributing member of this church.
Woo, all right. Well, what I want you to know is today, Seaside is uplifted because of your commitment and your dedication. Your presence here today makes a profound difference in Seaside. I want to invite your board president to stand with me here at this time, because one of the most satisfying things that you could ever do is come into conscious alignment with your spiritual intention and your spiritual family, and just be able to say yes to Spirit, making yourself more available, creating more space for the grace of God to show up in your life. And I want you to be clear that it is not the church and its members, it is the spiritual community as its members. You are our heart, its head, its feet. You are what Seaside is. All of us is what makes up the pulse of this spiritual family and this community. And so within the body of this spiritual community, there is a life force, and it is from the healings, it is from the demonstrations, it is from the testimonies, it is from this kind of sharing that we take our authority, not just words that Ernest Holmes gave us, but rather it is the manifestation and the demonstration. It is from our fruits that we take the authority for the words that we share. And religious science is how we deliberately cooperate with the spiritual principles of life. And so there are those among us at this time that have shared, signed, and said, count me in with this spiritual community and family. And so as our chair of our board, president of our board of trustees, I would like to ask you to officially welcome in this new group.
You are unifying with each other and with the members of this center and of all members of the Centers for Spiritual Living throughout the world in a warm, loving, divine fellowship of the Spirit. As you enter into the center's activity in thought, word, purpose, plan, action, you are an important and unique way to each other and to all humanity. Through your adherence to and practice of the teachings of religious science, you become a vital factor in establishing and maintaining the kingdom of heaven on earth. As you join in membership, cooperation, the experience of each is enlarged and expanded into greater good. For as you enter into a life of service to mankind, to its life itself and to God, you knowingly become one with the very spirit of divine presence. In this way, you increasingly become an influence for good in the lives of all whom you touch. The one obligation placed upon you is the obligation you place on yourself in the fulfillment of the purpose in your heart and the meaning of membership to you. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and the other members of this center, I lovingly receive each one of you into our membership at Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you.
Hey, great. Tracy. Why don't you remain up there? Let's remain standing as we close with gratitude and appreciation and excitement for what is taking place at Seaside, for what is going on. There is growth, there is thriving, there's aliveness, there's the dynamic expression that's touching each and every one of us. For truly the blessings of God, the gifts of God are our individual experiences as we walk through this world. And so if anyone is experiencing anything less than that comfort, that grace, that out of easiness, dis-ease, let us know that it is a spot where spirit has been forgotten, and know that in this moment I create a bigger space for God to show that right there included in this struggle or this challenge becomes the emergence, the greater good, that God is bigger and greater than anything that lies before me. And so that wonderful flow of God continues to uplift everyone that is part of this spiritual, growing, dynamic family of love and caring and compassion. Seaside is alive. Seaside is growing. Seaside is prospering. Seaside is thriving because the individual members that touch this community continue to move to an ever greater conscious realization and recognition of the presence of God. And this I am grateful. I am thankful that it's in this place that the healing is going on, the shift takes place. I'm grateful. I'm filled with appreciation that the gift of Spirit is sufficient in all areas. And I let go, trusting and believing because it is so. So it is.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I did not know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, I'm discouraged and trying to make it through just one more day. You got to let it go. Let it go. And this is what we have to say. Come on, Ray.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life.
Come on.
And my heart is open wide. 'Cause I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Hey, I release
and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life.
And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God.
There's no more
struggle, no more strife.
No more strife.
With my faith I see the light.
I see the light.
I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Now, Seaside, y'all take. There's no more struggle, no more strife. Faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here. Oh,
And our affirmation for the week is, I am the grace of God. Together, I am the grace of God. Feel it and say it like you mean it. I am the grace of God. One more time. I am the grace of God. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe. Through joys and through fears, in this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. Living in grace. Living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. Oh, we're living in grace. Hallelujah.